You like football, basketball, you're betting 10, 20, 50, 100. The Friendly Wager with the homie. This is the podcast for you, not industry professionals. Just trying to get you to quick flip off of the sports ting. No long talking, no lies, no limits. This is No Cap Bets. Today is Friday, October 7th. We give you the best picks against the spread for this week's NFL games. We do the homework. You win the picks. I'm the host, Plus More. I got my co-host with me, Heavy365. What up? And our senior NFL top correspondent, back-to-back fantasy team champion in his league. I don't know, is there a name for the league? Let me know. I threw in your bouncer's favorite bouncer. I don't know where I got that from, but I just think it's hilarious. And he just came off a 3-0 week. Say what up to the people, Grizz.
It's good.
What is up, No Cap Nation?
And this episode has been brought to you by BetStamp. Line shopping for the most valuable odds is what we do over here. Any game I place a wager on, I go there first. I decide which one of these sports books got the best payout, and it's off to the races. Go ahead and download the BetStamp app now and use the promo code NoCapBets. Once again, BetStamp with the promo code NoCapBets. Like we do in every episode, we start off with the No Cap recap. So let's get right to that. Heavy, you had the Bills at 3. You had the Commanders, both of which kind of didn't really come through for you, but you prayed for the best, as we call you on the show, Mr. Pray for the Best, and you got yourself a push. And then in the Vegas game, down 0-1-1. You needed to get that win to just have a nice, steady, just not a losing week. 1-1-1. Vegas comes through for you at 2.5. Tell us about how it went down for you.
Yeah, you pretty much explained everything there. We can start off first with the Bills game. If you were watching it, you've seen that it was pretty much a back and forth game. There was opportunities the Bills could have covered that light spread, but we end up getting the push, so it's not really a loss. Shout out to Josh Allen and those guys over there. Probably the worst beat of the week was the Commanders +3. I still don't believe in the Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys fans, you can get in my DMs. You could say whatever you want, but we don't think they're real. They got another win against the Commanders. They're not so real. It is what it is there.
That sounds emotional.
And the one winner, it is. I was a bit emotional.
But I'm saying, why so like? But why throw shade at the Cowboys? The Cowboys look really real right now.
If you want to say that, that's up to you. That's your opinion. So we can talk about it after the show. But yeah. I don't think they're real. And the Raiders -2. Derek Carr, you got me the 1 W. Shout out to you, Denver. It's just being Denver. You guys seen the game last night, and we'll leave it at that. And yeah, it is what it is. Let's try to get to 3-0 this week.
That's what's up. 1-1-1. As for our NFL top correspondent, 5-1 in the last 2 weeks. Should have been 6-0, but half a point means a lot. We fight for our lines over here at No Cap Bets, but a great 3-0. A lot of good reason to celebrate. Let's talk about it. Yeah, the Titans at 3, the return of Derrick Henry. And I mean, just the return of Derrick Henry to elite form, if you ask me. Why are we still sleeping on Geno? They win 48-45. And then you have the Arizona Cards, the No Cap Bets favorite road team to take. Tell us about the 3-0 week, how it went down for you.
Well, Nation, I finally broke through and I got that monkey off of my back with a perfect week. So shout out to me. And shout out to the squad. We went 5-2-2, so that's still a good week regardless.
Big facts.
Now first I had the Titans. That was at 3.5 actually, and that was a big lead early, and the Colts they just couldn't do enough to come back. I had the Seahawks, and while Detroit was pretty feisty, the cover was also not in doubt. And then I had the Cardinals +1.5 in somewhat of an ugly game. It was tight very early, but the Cardinals managed to pull it off. We do not take Baker Mayfield as a favorite. All in all, another good week. Here's hoping for the Mandem to have another good week.
5-2-2, like you mentioned. And for me, woke up early in the morning, top of the morning, bruv, to watch the game in England with the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints. Thought I had this one in the bag, to be honest. I think they were up 16-6. And in typical Vikings fashion, they just got to make it interesting at the end. So they kind of have a little late game collapse and skate out and win it by 3. So that gave me a push. I got caught hopping on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon, wave, whatever you want to call it. And maybe it was a little premature. You know, I do see him growing up, but I guess just not too fast. So I unfortunately got a bad beat there. Couldn't cover the 7. Ended up just losing by 8. And nobody believes in the Atlanta Falcons yet? Because I do. ACL shot it. They come out with another outright win. That gives us 24-10-2 on the year. The guys are looking really good. Something around 71% of our picks through 4 weeks. We're looking like some real guys right now.
Can you say that record again?
Yeah, this is 24-10-2. Week 1 through 4, 71% of the picks. The Realist Sports Betting Podcast. Where else are you going to go? Have you guys listened to some other podcasts? Do you guys know what the records are like out and about? We don't got to drop names. I just wanted to know.
I listened to a few other podcasts.
I've heard a couple. I mean, it seems like, you know, there's a couple that are hitting, a couple that aren't, you know?
Yeah. You guys sound really humble because I think we're the best right now. I feel like I haven't heard of any podcasts, at least this year, hitting 70% of their picks, but we still got a lot of work to do. And obviously, we know you guys didn't come to listen to us gloat. You came for the locks, so we're going to give them to you. You're listening to No Cap Bets. We'll be right back after the break. Check out the Body Right Podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Bless up.
Yeah, jeans look too tight, yeah, but that shit just right.
And you know what that means. It's time for the locks. You're listening to No Cap Bets, official No Cap Bets on Instagram. Let's get right to it. Let's go with the first game, guys. We're all not involved in this one. It's the Green Bay Packers. They are 8-point favorites up against the New York Giants. Giants look great. Packers look pretty good too. Neutral. I don't know who's going to show up in London with the 6-hour time difference. I just don't want to touch it. It's your favorite quarterback, Grizz. Any thoughts on this one?
This game, yeah, I'm not involved. I don't like the Giants quarterback situation. I don't even know who's starting for them this week. Not a guarantee that Danny Dimes is playing. I'm not involved.
And there's another game that it sounded like you were involved in, and then just prior to the taping, you wanted us to know that that wasn't a game that you'd be touching. It'd be the New England Patriots and the Lions. What made you want to stay away from this one?
This game, I just don't like it. There's other games that I can play, pretty much.
Yeah, you know what? Detroit, they stay in every game. I think this line is 3 for a reason. I feel like the market has finally caught up to the Lions as an underdog. And if it was anything higher, you know, you got Zap, but it's still Belichick at home. I wouldn't want to touch it either. But there is a game that both of you guys are involved in. And I don't know, this is crazy because we just saw the emergence of Kenny Pickett. It's the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, 14 points. Before I pass it to any one of you, I know Heavy is a New York guy, right? So is he going to make no cap history again and fade the New York team? And as for you, Grizz, we were all watching the game last week. We saw what happened to Mitch Trubisky, who I think is probably the most unfairly treated quarterback in the history of the league. Like, you knew he was just coming to pass the torch, basically. That was his job. Like, hey, we're going to need you for a couple seasons and you're passing the torch. So Kenny Pickett's in, and you said it. Your words is, I told the No Cap Nation, I would take Pittsburgh as soon as they put Kenny Pickett in, or you'll start betting Pittsburgh games. I'm going to go ahead and let you run it off, Grizz. You are the one that's 3-0, put it on your back last week. Who is your lock in this game?
All right, nation. For my first lock of the week, I'm rocking with the Pittsburgh Steelers at plus 14.
Breaking news, breaking news.
Not surprised at all.
Now, I know last time I got fried when trying to fade Buffalo, but this is a good spot. You have the Bills coming into this game after playing 2 tough road games against Miami and Baltimore. both going to the buzzer, and now they got to play the Steelers, who are starting a rookie quarterback. Let's not forget who Buffalo plays next week. Anybody?
What's the look ahead?
Buffalo is playing the Chiefs in the biggest game of the year for the Bills. All right? Big revenge spot from last year's playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
As for the Steelers, again, they're being disrespected by being such a dog of such magnitude. 14 points is a lot to cover in the NFL, and it's a lot of cushion to give a team with that kind of defense. Also, No Cap Nation knows how I feel about rookie quarterbacks. And if you get a rookie quarterback at an underdog price at plus 14.5, you know I'm going to take it. So give me the Steelers, baby. These big games.
He quotes his long-lost brother, Mike Tomlin, and says, these big games, no surprise over here on No Cap Bets, Grizz for the 49th time, first lock, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Heavy, he made a great case there. You know, got a look-ahead spot, 2 tough games. This might be the one where you coast and just want to win by like 7, 10. If you win it by 3, you're just happy. This is a lot of points to spare a dog. But you're a New York guy. Who's your lock this week?
Yeah, for this week, I'm going to have to be rocking with the big homie here, Steelers plus 14. 14 points in a professional NFL game is crazy. I can't lay this many points with the Bills in this spot, who haven't looked so good in their last 2 games, barely beating the Ravens last week and losing to Miami the week before that. Now, you have to think this is a look-ahead spot for the Bills, who play Kansas City next week, as Grizz mentioned already. Steelers named Pickett their starting QB for this one. To me, this gives Pittsburgh new life after Trubinsky's lackluster play. So rookie QB as dogs has always been a very profitable betting angle for us here at No Cap Bets, as Grizz also mentioned in his take. So with all that being said, I'll take the Steelers to cover this in crazy inflated line on the road. Let's go, Tomlin. I need this one. Looking for the bounce back, bro. We're going with the Steelers plus 14.
I love it. It's Steelers off a loss. It's double digits. Everybody knew you were going to be paying a premium for Buffalo games this year. And I mean, it almost sounds like you guys wrote the same take. Did you guys like write this together? Did somebody ghostwrite it for the both of you guys and then sell it to you? Like, how did that go down?
Me and the homie are just sharper individuals, so it just lined up that way.
Great minds think alike, as they say. We're 24-10 for a reason. The guys are on the same side. No crossfire here. We don't do crossfires on this show. It's just real talk.
You know, it usually goes bad for me when I go against this guy. So I'm just glad we're on the same side this week.
It's Heavy's first lock. The Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, I love it. And then we're going to take this into another AFC East game. It's the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. And guys, I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. With my locks this week, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I need you guys to come through because like a lot of the teams I'm taking, I feel like people should have no business taking. But give me the New York Jets at 3.5. If Heavy's not rocking with New York, I saw a good East Coast, I'll hold you down. When I think of the Jets, I think of division dog. When I think of the Dolphins, I think Teddy Bridgewater as a favorite. We don't do that over here. I think of Jalen Waddle with the hamstring injury. I think of Tyreek Hill with the groin injury. I might have mixed those two. I don't know. One of them's got a groin injury. One of them's got a hamstring injury. Both of those receivers, obviously we know no Tua, right? Like we've established that. Prayers up for him, wishing him a speedy recovery and long-term health. Both of those receivers are responsible for 57% of the targets in the passing game. There's no other receiver. The very next receiver after them doesn't have more than 12 targets for the whole year. So it's like you're playing a whole new Miami Dolphins offense. Teddy in a fave, that's a fade. 3 of the stars, like the team that you're building this offense around, they're just out. And the Jets have been, I will say, maybe not great, but if you don't like the Jets this year, you're a hater. They have been honorable. All their games up against the AFC North. We know how tough of a division that is. I talk about it all the time. They got to win against the Browns. They got to win against the aforementioned Steelers in dramatic fashion. But this too for the Jets is a bit of a Super Bowl kind of game because they're 2-2 and they've lost a whopping 12 straight against AFC East opponents. This could be the year. 13. It's a lucky number. They're not trying to go out like this and have 13 straight losses against the division. If they want to make a move with all the drama that's going on in Miami, Buffalo is looking up and down. They got the Chiefs. They got a chance to at least assert themselves in this division. So I got to go with the Jets, guys. 3.5. What are your thoughts?
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
That's the Jets, bro. Shout out to the New York, but I can't rock with them this week. But
well, I told you guys I needed you guys. I'm going to take the teams that nobody look.
Yeah.
I know you guys want to talk about the Dallas game later, but remember who took Dallas when nobody didn't want to take Dallas.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to you for that, for sure.
So yeah,
honestly, I'll say this: Teddy as a favorite has always been a staple. We don't take Teddy as a favorite, only as a dog. So, just off of principle alone, I rock with it. So let's go.
3.5 might even go down to 3. If it goes down to 3, take it. I'm locking it in regardless. Jets money line. Remember me tell ya say the New York Jets, my first lock. We're gonna take it to another game. I think I'm gonna go back to back, guys. I'm feeling myself, but most important, I really need you guys. Like I said, the teams I'm taking, you should have no business taking. Or should you? This next game is the Tampa Bay Bucks up against the Atlanta Falcons. And I just want you guys to picture this, okay? Like National Geographic. You ever see those animal documentaries? So just picture the Falcon, right? And then it has the Falcon on top of the mountain, just looking for something to prey on, you know? And it sees the meat. It sees its prey. So like a true falcon predator, them endangered species, them flies right down, swoops down. You know what it swooped down on? We're Jamaican, so I expect you guys to know this. You know what kind of meat it swooped down? It swooped down on the goat meat. It's going to eat some goat. It's a perfect letdown spot for the Buccaneers. Give me that lock. Atlanta to cover 9.5, 10, whatever it is come game time. Atlanta's won 2 in a row. They've lost their first game by 1 point. They came back from 31-10 against the Rams. And if it isn't for Jalen Ramsey doing the John Morant jump ball in the end zone on the last drive of the game, this team could easily be 4-0. But everybody's sleeping on the Falcons, so I got to take them again. And I know you guys know I like the zigzag, but nobody on this team got a big bag. Watch for the bars. Kyle Pitts is the highest paid player on this team, only making $8 million a year. So these guys, there's no ego in this locker room. They are playing together. I expect Tampa Bay to have their nose up in this game, very similar to Grizz's take after 2 pretty much like gut checks for the Bucks. A loss to Green Bay, a loss to the Chiefs. It feels like they finally got a break. So they're going to look to make easy work of the Falcons, but not so fast because Atlanta has a chance. This is their Super Bowl too. They have a chance to take sole control of the NFC South with a win in this division. They're 2-2. They have a chance to be 3-2. And the Bucks are 2-2, who also have a chance to be 3-2. So I'm going to go with the Super Bowl angle right here. And the home favorite spot for Tampa is at a premium after 2 big games, like 2 big games that they just played. I can't expect them to just really be a big brother in this one. Big brothers can get caught napping, you know. Grizz showed us that earlier on. Brady suffered a shoulder injury on a strip sack by Snead in the first half of the Bucks game against Kansas. And like, let's be honest, his life is just a mess right now. His life is a mess. The head coach took a day off this week for a personal matter. He doesn't even want to be around the team. The Bucks will be happy to win this game by 3, 7, but it's too much value. Oh, by the way, Atlanta's 4-0 ATS this year. If you want to hear me stop talking about it. Pimping straight up all day. If you want me, you can find me in the A. I'm on it. Atlanta Falcons lock it up at 9.5. Boys, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that analogy. is hilarious. So that alone kind of convinced me that is a good look.
What are you talking about? The take? Which analogy specifically?
The Falcon and seeing it's gonna yam on goat.
Yeah, we're Jamaican. We eat goat. It's only certain type of people that can eat the goat. Shout out to everybody in Atlanta. We got Jamaicans in Atlanta too. They love goat.
Oh my god.
I really have nothing to say on the goat take. It's Atlanta or nothing for me.
Okay, so what? You don't eat goat? I just want to clarify. You don't eat goat?
I do eat goat, but the whole Falcon coming for the goat and yeah.
All right, man.
To the Falcons plus 9.5.
Yeah, maybe you need to watch some more National Geographic. But yeah, thanks for backing the take, guys. I appreciate it. Grizz, I'm going to send it right back to you. It's the Seattle Seahawks. They're on the road against New Orleans. This one is at 5.5. I feel like it's disrespect to Geno, but I want to know what you think about it. Who's your lock?
All right, nation. For my next lock of the week, I'm going to hit the siren on the Seahawks again, plus 5.5. And I don't know if we've been watching the same games, but Geno Smith has been looking like Peyton Manning out there.
Whoa.
But in all seriousness, because that's a boost still. In all seriousness, the questions that were had about the offense for Seattle post Russell have pretty much been answered, and they are pretty efficient. Unlike the Saints, who have been banged up and not good. Plain and simple, I don't think this game is priced correctly. And the Saints couldn't even cover a similar line against the Falcons. I can't see them doing that against Seattle. I know home field is a big thing for the Saints, but if Jameis is playing, which I don't know at this moment, he's top 3 in interceptions. You can't trust that. If he doesn't play, it's the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, who has no arm strength. You can't trust that. Then you have Kamara, who may or may not play, who's banged up. They're not giving him the ball anyways. Can't trust that. I just don't like anything for the Saints right now, especially as a 5.5 point favorite. So give me the Seahawks to cover the spread. Let's go.
We're back in Geno again over here in the No Cap Nation. It's Grizz's second lock, the Seattle Seahawks, 5.5. Some games we're just really not involved in. The Washington Commanders, they did heavy, really dirty last week. Tennessee Titans, who did Grizz very well. It's 1.5. We're not touching it. Jacksonville and Houston, this should be a good game. You got to love a division dog. Jacksonville coming off a loss, but they kind of look like the front runners in this division, if you ask me. So we're not touching it nonetheless. And you know, one that I really was curious to touch, guys, the most efficient quarterback over the last 5 seasons, Minnesota Vikings go against the Chicago Bears. This one's 7 and a hook. I mean, I'm just throwing this out there. It's not a lock, but it's really hard to not look at the Chicago Bears right now. It really is. You know, I might have to zigzag that one. You give me 7 and a hook. Nobody wants to touch Chicago right now. I love that. And then it's Minnesota after a win at home. Those odds, that's just not really a profitable spot for the Vikings. Not touching it, not involved. So you guys do as you wish with that one. You got the Chargers up against the Cleveland Browns, 2.5 points. Really sticky, short line. Don't really want to touch it. And we can move ahead to the afternoon games. I'm going to go ahead and take this and just leave the rest of the locks up to you guys. I got a lock in this game here with the San Francisco 49ers on the road up against Carolina. You heard it from all the guys here. We don't like Baker. But in the event that they're a home dog at 6.5, I'm a taker. Because Baker's like a faker. You know, he's like that guy that talks, but it's like he goes around picking fights. And when he picks fights, he loses. But when you pick a fight with Baker, that's when he shows up. And I feel like the media has been at him the whole week. He actually came out recently and said, all right, my bad. I know I got to step it up in the offense. And that's exactly what he intends to do. You're giving me an opportunity for these guys, especially after San Francisco's in a bit of a hangover spot. They just got to win over the defending Super Bowl champions, the Rams. And Panthers, let's be honest, they're off to a rocky start. The team's 1-3. Offense ranks last in the league in total yards per game. Mayfield's 30th in the passer rating, 31st in completion percentage. So there's rumbles. You guys know about the rumbles where everybody's going to lose their job. Baker's going to lose it to Sam Darnold. Matt Rule, trash coach. He's going to lose his job. Ben McAdoo, the offensive coordinator. I thought only McAdoo's played in the NBA. Who is this guy? He's probably going to lose his job. Maybe you guys could tell me who McAdoo is after. But when Baker's back is against the wall, he might actually come through for you. Grizz said it best. We don't take Baker as a favorite. That's nuts. But Heavy did make no cap history and took Baker as a dog. And I got a time to take Baker as a dog with some extra points. Got to fade the 49ers off of a big win. When you're going to get value with the 49ers, you're going to get them at home. I'm going to say less. This is no long talking, right? It's the Panthers. My third and final lock. Guys?
Yeah, being a short week for the 49ers, I would have to go with the Panthers in this spot. So I actually like it still.
It's very risky business, but, good luck.
Thank you, gentlemen. And like I said, good luck to you guys because I took the teams that nobody wants to take this week, and I'm going to pass it to you guys because I can't even believe you're both involved in such another blockbuster game. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Heavy says they're not real, so I feel like I know where he's going on this one. And then it's the Los Angeles Rams off of their loss to the San Francisco 49ers. You know what, Heavy, since I was talking so slick, let me just take it to you and let you get your take out on this one.
Yeah, in this game, I'm going with the world champs, -5.5. The Rams, the original line for this game was sitting at -7. It's now dropped to -5.5. I think that's due to the Rams losing in prime time against the 49ers. Now, it's great to see the Cowboys winning, but I'm still not buying it, facing weaker teams in the league like the Giants, Commanders, who got me last week. Keep in mind, the Cowboys closed as 7.5 dogs at home against the Bengals. Now they're catching only 5 on the road against the world champ Rams in LA. I'm not buying it. So the Rams played the Bills. The Rams played the Bills and the 49ers better than any team that Dallas has played this year. So I'm taking the champs in the get right spot. I'll lay the points at home with the Rams. Keep in mind, this is also a look ahead spot for Dallas, who plays the Eagles in a big divisional game next week. So will the Cowboys be fully focused on this week's game? We should see, but I'm gonna go with the Rams -5 this week. We pray for the best.
All right, Mr. Pray for the best. He's in it for the Rams off of the loss. The only thing I disagree with, and I'm gonna pass this to you, Grizz. Actually, I'll give you a chance to respond before I pass this to you. I don't think you can have a look ahead when you have the defending Super Bowl champs coming in town. You get what I'm saying?
Well, why I say that? Well, you have to keep in mind when it comes down to near the end of the season and playoff like seeding and shit like that, it's more important in that sense because you'll have wins against certain teams in the division, right? So this could be very much an important game near the end of the season. Why I say that? So that's why it would be a look ahead spot for me. Obviously, I'm not taking anything away from the Rams, but yeah, you know what I mean? This definitely could be a look ahead spot.
Heavy second lock, the Los Angeles Rams. And Grizz, we're locking in your third and final. You're on the same side with Heavy in the Pittsburgh game, but are you in this game? What's your lock?
All right, nation. For my last lock of the week, I'm going to hit the siren on the Cowboys, +5.5. Now, when I hear what Heavy said, he needs to understand what he's watching,
Mm-hmm.
This is a straight fade of the Rams. If you watch them on Monday low-key, they're exposed. The Niners allowed Cooper Kupp to get whatever he wanted, and it didn't matter. That's a little scary. That's a little scary for an explosive offense. And the fact that they can't run the ball right now, not really encouraging. So when I see the Rams and I look at the matchup against the Cowboys and their defense, that alone is the big difference maker. You have Cooper Rush, who's been doing his job, taking care of the ball.
Lights out.
In the run game. letting the run game do its thing. With that defense playing the way it is, there's no reason why I can't trust in the Cowboys. So, with that being said, I know that it's a potential look ahead spot. It is a big game next week, but I don't believe with a backup quarterback against the world champs, you can be in a position to look ahead anybody. So I'm gonna rock with the Cowboys, and I'm gonna hope for the best my damn self.
Okay, it's Mr. Pray for the best against Mr. Hope for the best. I guess I don't know. You know, leave it. Yeah, all the for the best is heavy. We gotta.
Right now.
yeah. You know, I see what you did there. You went heel. You turned heel on heavy. That was crazy. He turned heel on you, man. Grizz's final lock, the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to pass this to you, Heavy, but before I do, there's one 4:00 game we did not get involved with. It's the Eagles, undefeated. Let's just call them the best team in the league because that's simply what they are. And they're up against our favorite road guys, the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona is going to be 5-point underdogs at home. I think we don't touch it because it's hard to take Arizona on back-to-back weeks. Also, like Philly as a away favorite. It's just a tough game, probably easier to watch. But there is one game that happens on Sunday night that you're going to be involved in. And I messaged you when you told me this was the game that you were involved in. I said, N-word, be on the right side.
This guy said N-word.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't know who's watching, you know? We don't want to fuck up a future bag. So yeah. So it's the Baltimore Ravens. They're at home against the Cincinnati Bengals. This line is 3.5. Heavy. What's your final lock?
Yeah, for my final lock this week, I'm going to be going with the Ravens -3.5. Let's start off with the Ravens. They come into this one off of a heartbreaking loss to the Bills, losing by 3. We all seen that game last
Foolishness.
week. So So first things first, the Ravens off of a loss have been a great bet on spot for bettors as I look for Coach Harbaugh to make the necessary changes going into this week's game. Another angle I'm going to be attacking this one is the double revenge spot where the Ravens lost 2 blowout games last year to the Bengals. So this one's definitely marked on their calendars. Keep in mind, Lamar only played in 1 divisional game last year. That was the L against Cincinnati.
Yep.
Also, this is a tough travel spot for the Bengals after playing Miami in a short week. Might be a letdown spot after getting the win over there. So I think the Ravens will be pissed coming off of last week's result, and they'll cover the short line. I think it's a buy low spot. I'm going with the Ravens -3.5.
Pissed. Ravens. Shout out to Moolah first, man. Yeah.
Pissed.
Yeah, shout out to Moolah. Yo, that is a talented rapper in the city. Pissed. Baltimore Ravens, Heavy's third and final lock. Grizz, did you want to speak on this game?
Yeah, I stumbled upon an interesting stat the other day.
Yeah.
And it said even though Baltimore is 2-2, that they've only trailed for 14 seconds all year.
Jeez, that's embarrassing.
Crazy.
So that lets me know that they've been in control of most of their games, and they've, so I like this pick.
And Lamar's playing for the bag right now as well. Like a lot of people, not like saying any names or whatever, but they feel like he's the best QB in the league right now.
Yeah. This guy right here.
Debatable. People can argue about it, but he is playing for the bag. So
he's the MVP this season. I can't blame any of their losses on him. They collapsed. First of all, their whole defense was to blame against the Miami comeback, and then this past week, John Harbaugh was to blame. He put this dude in a position to have to try to win the game when they could have easily tied it. So thank you for that stumbled on gem right there. That's why he's our NFL top correspondent. It's Heavy's third and final lock. The Baltimore Ravens. I like it too. I love it. Honestly, I think we're going to have the parlay of all parlays in this one. We went 5-2-2 last week. We're 24-10-2 already on the year. Heavy's got Pittsburgh, Rams, Baltimore. Grizz has got Pittsburgh, Seattle, Cowboys. I got the Jets, ATL Shorty, and Baker, no faker, Carolina Panthers. Subscribe to the channel. YouTube, we're there. We're like, I think we somewhere at like 213 or so. We're really close to our goal of 250 subscribers. Looking forward to hitting that. Hit the notification bell so you can get all the content. Subscribe to the podcast, the No Cap Bets podcast. Follow us on Instagram, official No Cap Bets, and stay all the way tapped in with No Cap Bets because we're going to win you some bread this year. At least that's what it's looking like. Off top, if you've been watching us since episode 1, you might have already came in with something. For my co-host, Heavy365, and our senior NFL top correspondent, Grizz, it's been another episode of No Cap Bets. Bless up.